A Singaporean student was attacked while walking down Oxford Street in central London. 4 guys told him, "We don't want your coronavirus in our country. Are we humans no better than the virus? If everyone overreacts when seeing someone wearing a mask, guess what? You are telling those who are carrying a disease not to wear one when they go out in order to avoid discrimination." Hey there, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. As the novel coronavirus spreads worldwide, with outbreaks in European countries like Italy and France, strange phenomena occur lately all around the world. People are stockpiling face masks, household items, and even food in many countries including Australia, the United Kingdom, and the United States. Not only that, the fears of the virus drive ammo sales spikes in the United States, according to the report of Fox Business. People are said to stock up ammo in case others might intrude their houses and rob them of supplies, which sounds pretty much like an American drama. But what saddens me most is there have been reported cases of racist attacks against people who look East Asian around the world. A Singaporean student was allegedly attacked while walking down Oxford Street in central London on 24th February. He told the BBC that a group of 4 guys told him, "We don't want your coronavirus in our country," as they punched and kicked him. Similar cases of verbal bullying were reported in Berlin, New York, and Los Angeles. According to CNN, in New York City, a man assaulted a woman wearing a face mask, calling her a diseased B word. I thought those were just some random cases until the other day one of my friends, a Chinese American, told me that her mother got punched in the stomach on the street in Philadelphia. Looks like racist attacks are really spreading faster than coronavirus. I can't help but wonder, has the virus brought the darkest side of us human beings? We know this virus attacks people regardless of their ages and genders, and it has killed thousands of people, most of whom were vulnerable because of their weak immune system. Doesn't that sound like a bully? And yet the difference between the virus and human is, the virus is no racist. All races are equal to the virus. Are we humans no better than the virus? Some people are angry at Chinese people because the origins of the coronavirus have been linked to illegally traded wildlife at Wuhan's seafood market. However, until today, the exact source of the outbreak has not been identified. Some say that the virus comes from bats, but there is no scientific evidence shows that humans can be infected directly from the bats. There has to be an intermediate host, and none is found for COVID-19 so far. An expert on virus at Hong Kong University, Professor Guan Yi, went to Wuhan to investigate on the disease before Wuhan's lockdown, and he found that the seafood market had been washed clean by the time he arrived, which means vital evidence that could have been used to trace the source of the virus had been destroyed. The seafood market might not be the source of the outbreak. It could be nothing more than a scapegoat. Now that everyone's busy criticizing those wild animal eaters, no one pays attention to what really happened in Wuhan. Yes, there might be wildlife eaters in China, but I think there are only a few people whose price for the crime is not supposed to be paid by innocent Chinese people or even Asians all around the world. Some might argue that China is responsible for the spread of the disease since the virus comes from China. But who exactly do you mean by China? Are Chinese people equal to China? Who is responsible? China's government or people in China? Consider the fourth confirmed case in Italy, the super spreader who had run 2 marathons before developing any symptoms. He went to hospital 3 times with flu-like symptoms before doctors finally screened and diagnosed him with the killer virus. So tell me, detectives, who is to blame in this case? The runner, the hospital, or the government? There are definitely lessons to be learned from this horrible disaster, but we can't simply hold one person or one ethnic group responsible for the plague. I'm sure no Italian can stand being discriminated by other Europeans. Just like you're not supposed to discriminate against Germans because of German measles. And the fact that Nazis massacred Jewish people does not justify anyone giving a German a punch in the stomach. I'm not saying no one is responsible, just that don't take innocent people as scapegoats. Let's not forget that we haven't known much about this virus until lately. Many disease carriers do not realize they could be carriers without serious symptoms. And it's the government's job to pass the information to them. If you live in a country with a democratic system of government, you've got democratic measures to take when your government is not doing its job. For example, the parliament can impeach your president. And if the governments of other countries are not doing their job, you can sign a petition to ask your government to act on your people's behavior, to condemn them, or even impose a sanction against them. That's how democracy works, isn't it? So if you have a problem with, say, China's government, you should ask your president to do something about it, rather than attacking a random citizen who was Asian. Not long before, President Trump of USA praised the president of China for the country's handling of the novel coronavirus outbreak. I have no idea if he meant what he said and what his intention was to say so. But if you're American and you do not agree with him, I'm sure you can find a way to let him know. In a democratic, civilized society, it is your right to watch your government and make sure it's doing the right thing. You get to waive your right to do so, but you can't take it out on innocent people. In case you wonder, I live in Taiwan and I'm proud to say we have a democratic system in which we elect our own president. Presidential election is also one way to express your opinion. It's also ridiculous to feel panic when you see someone wearing a face mask. Wearing a mask can protect oneself as well as protecting others. If everyone overreacts when seeing someone wearing a mask, guess what? You are telling those who are potentially or actually carrying a disease not to wear one when they go out in order to avoid discrimination. And I think that's one of the reasons for the outbreaks in many European countries and in the United States. You have the right to choose not to use protection, but why discriminate on those who are actually protecting you? Wearing a mask doesn't mean one is sick. Just like not all people using condoms because they have STD. If you understand the importance of using condoms, I don't see why you can't understand people using masks. It's true, discrimination exists everywhere in the world, just like viruses. We take sanitary precautions against viruses, like washing hands or using sanitizer. Likewise, when you see your friends saying something unfair to a certain group of people, you should point out the fact that they are being biased. Ask them how they would feel when their own group of people are being treated the same way. And if you see some stranger being a bully when you are out with your friends, you can tell the bully that is not cool. If you don't have company or if the instigator seems to be dangerous or has company, you can make eye contact with others nearby and see whether you have allies or seek help from police or security guards nearby. There are many other good tips at the end of the news article of CNN, including filming the events or moving closer to the person being arrested to communicate your support. You can click on the link above to read the article. Everyone could be a victim of a bully, and the only way to stop bullying is that every one of us stand up and do something about it whenever we see a bully. We wash our hands frequently in order to stay safe from the virus. We should also do our best to eliminate discrimination and racism so that we can live in a better, friendlier world. After all, we should be better than the virus. Say no to discrimination. Be a better person. 拒绝歧视，成为更好的人。 I would appreciate it if you share with me in the comments your experience of being bullied. I would also like to know if you have any other good tips for how to stand up to a bully. That's all for today. Subscribe our channel and turn on the notification. I'm Rena from Mandarin Max. 下次见 Ciao